Hey guys, welcome back. If you've been following along with my Jobhire.ai videos I've been sharing, I've been teasing this video a few times, and it's finally here. Today, I'm going to get into the math of whether or not Jobhire.ai is worth the cost. Before we hop into the fun stuff, as a reminder, throughout the month of August 2025, you can use my code DRE30 and the link in the description to get 30% off a subscription. Now for the fun part. I'm going to break this video up into 6 parts. First, I'm going to talk about how much time does it take to apply to an average job. Second, what is the amount of money you would make annually, monthly, and per minute? The goal here is to understand what does 1 minute of your time cost. Third, how much time should you spend applying to jobs per day, and how much would that cost you? Fourth, how much does Jobhire.ai cost? Fifth, how many jobs does it apply to for you per day? And sixth, does the math? So let's hop into it. The application starts long before you click apply. Researching the company and the role is crucial. For a quick application, this might take 3 to 5 minutes of skimming a company's About Us page, or reading the details of the job to make sure that you are qualified to do it. For a tailored application, this can be 30 to 60 minutes of deep research into their products, their mission, and the team. Tailoring your resume and your cover letter is the biggest time investment. A quick tweak might take 15 to 20 minutes, but a major overhaul for a specific role can take 1 to 2 hours, and skipping this step is a mistake. But there are tools that make it faster, and this video isn't focused on that aspect. The total time that you spend before you even open the application can range from 30 minutes to 2 hours. However, for the sake of this video, I'm going to use 3 to 5 minutes because that's the time it essentially takes to skim the company's About Us page or read the job description to make sure you're qualified for the role. Now, my math is going to be done right up here in this corner. You're going to see this throughout the video, and this is me giving you the actual quantities that I'm using. Now, let's look at completion time by application format. Thankfully, the days of filling out paper applications are essentially behind us because that can take so much time to do, not to mention the hand cramps you get. Legacy ATS applications are systems like Workday and Talio. These are notorious for a poor user experience. Even after uploading your resume, the system often makes you type every job, every date, every detail into separate fields. Resume parsing can have an accuracy rate as low as 95%, forcing you to fix those errors. A typical application on those platforms can take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, with complex applications sometimes taking over an hour. One study found that these systems can make applications 128% longer than modern ones. So I'm going to add 10 to 15 minutes for those legacy ATS applications. Modern ATS applications, systems like Greenhouse and Lever, they prioritize candidate experience. They have improved resume parsing and a user-friendly interface. Features like integrated LinkedIn profile import and seamless mobile optimization make a huge difference. A modern ATS application can often be completed in as little as 5 to 15 minutes. So I'm going to add that to the calculation. One-click applications, i.e. the speed demons, systems like LinkedIn Easy Apply or Indeed Quick Apply. The key here is speed. You're typically applying with a pre-saved resume and a few clicks. This is the fastest option, with completion times ranging from a few seconds to 2 to 3 minutes. The trade-off here is that there is such a high volume of applicants and the low rate of human review, around 3% for Easy Apply. These are best for casting a wide net, so I'm going to add 1 to 3 minutes to the calculation. As a recap, legacy ATS takes about 10 to 45 minutes, modern ATS 5 to 15 minutes, and one-click 1 to 3 minutes. All of that is per application. Now, if you're not going to use an AI tool to do your applying for you, then before you apply, ask yourself, is this worth my time? Use one-click applications for high-volume roles and save your tailored, longer applications for the job you truly want. Your time is valuable, so don't let a bad application system waste it. Now, another part of this math problem is to understand the amount of money you make annually. I assumed $100,000 because some people watching this may make more, some people may make less. If annually you're making $100,000 a year, then hourly you're going to take $100,000 and you're going to divide that by 280 hours. The reason I use this number is because that's 40 hours per week times 52 weeks. That gives you about $48 per hour. To understand how much your time is per minute, we need to take that $48 and we need to divide it by 60 minutes. There's 60 minutes in 1 hour. When we do that, we get about 80 cents. So your rate per minute is 80 cents. Our math is going to disappear for this next part as I look at how much time you should be spending applying to jobs. If you're in a job search right now, you probably feel like you're spending all day, every day, hunched over your laptop, sending out hundreds of resumes only to hear what? Crickets? You're probably thinking, I just need to work harder. But what if I told you the problem isn't that you're not working hard enough, but that you're working wrong? Now, you might be surprised by this, but a full-time unemployed job seeker should be spending about 4 to 6 hours a day on their search. And if you're already employed and just looking for a change, that number drops dramatically to just 1 to 2 hours a day. Wait, did you hear that right? That's not a full 8-hour workday. That's a focused, effective half day. But here's the important part. The secret isn't in the total hours, it's in the allocation. Most people spend 90% of their time on the least effective activities, mindlessly scrolling through job boards and firing off generic applications. You need to flip that model on its head. Here's the expert recommended time budget for your 4 to 6 hour day. Networking. This should be about 70% of your time. That's right. Almost 3/4 of your time should be spent building connections. This means sending personalized LinkedIn messages, scheduling information interviews, and attending virtual events, since this is where about 85% of jobs can be found. Searching and applying should only take 10% of your time. This is where you find job listings and actually hit apply. But notice, this is a tiny fraction of your time. I'll get to why in a second. Resume and cover letter customization should also take about 10% of your time. This is about quality over quantity. You're not just spamming the same document. You're carefully tailoring your materials for those few high-impact applications. Upskilling and interview prep should take about 10% of your time. Use this time to prepare for interviews, take a relevant course, or brush up on technical skills. It's an investment in your future. And this brings me to a key point. Not all hours are created equal. The type of application system that you use, as I mentioned before, can make a huge difference. Applying via LinkedIn Easy Apply might take you less than 30 seconds. In contrast, a clunky, outdated ATS system like Workday or Talio can take over 30 minutes, often forcing you to manually re-enter information from your resume. This is a prime example of the law of diminishing returns. After a few hours of intense searching and applying, your productivity drops. You start making errors, and you're much more susceptible to burnout. This isn't just an opinion. Research shows that the quality of your work and your mood take a nosedive after just a couple of hours. So, the key takeaway is simple. Stop grinding, start strategizing. Use your time effectively. Focus on networking, customize your materials for a few key roles, and apply smarter, not harder. What I'm going to answer shortly is if Jobhire.ai is the tool you need in your strategy. So let's do some more math. In order to understand how many minutes you should be spending in a day based on that 4 to 6 hours, since we're using 10%, we're going to take 10% of 4 hours and 10% of 6 hours to get about 24 to 36 minutes. If you are fully employed and you are spending time applying to jobs, we're going to take 10% of 1 to 2 hours, which is going to give you 6 minutes to 12 minutes. What is that cost per day? Well, we know you're spending on the 4 to 6 hour of job searching, those two time ranges above, 24 to 36 minutes and 6 to 12 minutes. We know that the cost of your per minute work is 80 cents per minute. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply 24 minutes times 80 cents to give us $19.20. We're going to do the same thing for the next three numbers. So the first range for the 4 to 6 hours of job searching comes out to be $19.20 to $28.80. The second range is $4.08 to $9.06. Now that's per day. Let's pivot a little bit to look at how much Jobhire.ai costs. A starter plan is $70 per month. A pro plan is $145 per month. And a pro plus plan is $300 total for 3 months, meaning that you're going to pay $300 and you're going to get access to the site for 3 months. And those numbers are before the 30% discount you'd get by using my code and link to sign up. But since my code is only available in August 2025, and to make sure the math checks out, I'm going to keep these numbers. So how many jobs does it apply to daily by using Jobhire.ai? Well, that starter plan is going to apply up to 40 jobs per day. The pro plan is going to apply up to 100 jobs per day. And the Pro Plus plan is also going to apply up to 100 jobs per day. So is the math mathing? Well, the question you've all been waiting for, or if you skipped forward to the end just to see what the answer was, assuming those applying aren't literally doing it every single day, I'm going to assume you're dedicating about, I don't know, 4 days a week or roughly 16 days a month to your job search. Given this assumption, it's costing you, let's do more math, 4 to 6 hours a day for 16 days a month. We need to take that daily rate of $19.20 and we need to multiply it by 16, which is going to give us $307.20. This is going to be how much it would cost you per month to actually spend your time applying to jobs manually. Now, I'm going to do the same thing for the next three numbers. So the ranges for number one of 4 to 6 hours is going to cost you $307.20 to $460.80. The same thing for the second range. It's $76.80 to $153.60. Now, as a reminder, those legacy ATS systems is going to give you 10 to 45 minutes per application. At 10% of your time per day spent actually applying to jobs, this is going to give you about 3 applications per day that you can apply to. Now, if you didn't do any of the networking and you want to spend your whole time just applying to jobs, 24 applications per day at about 4 hours a day is what you can apply with. For the modern ATS, which is 5 to 15 minutes per application, you can get in 6 applications per day at 10%, or 48 applications per day at 4 hours. And with the one click, which is 1 to 3 minutes, you can do 30 applications per day at 10%, or 240 applications per day at 4 hours. That's also crazy for anyone who might be using, just the quick apply, one click, and they're doing that for 4 hours a day. Bless your soul. If you were to spend your entire day, 4 to 6 hours, just filling out the applications and clicking apply, then Jobhire is absolutely worth the money. Because what you aren't spending time doing is the stuff that matters, networking. If you're spending any lesser amount of time applying to jobs, Jobhire.ai is 1000% worth the money because it's going to apply to more jobs per day than you are. More jobs applied to, the greater the likelihood of you getting an interview and landing your next job. I'll be honest, I was fully expecting this math not to add up and for Jobhire.ai to actually be overpriced. But my expectations have been adjusted. Based on my research, linked below, and the math I showed on screen throughout this video, you would actually be saving time and the money is worth it for the packages they offer. Remember, Jobhire.ai is working every single day during your subscription to find jobs that you qualify for. Apply to them for you, and you don't have to do a single thing, as opposed to maybe the 16 days per month that you're utilizing. Leveraging Jobhire.ai may be just the tool you need so that you can focus your entire job search on building connections. If this video was helpful, please subscribe to the channel, like this, and feel free to comment. And if you're ready to let Jobhire.ai apply to jobs for you, then use this code and the link in the description for your 30% off today throughout the month of August. Thanks, everyone. Stay tuned for how my progress with Jobhire.ai goes for the rest of the month, and I'll talk to you soon with more videos.